I only have two hands and the feeling of the world. It seems like it has always been like this, feeling for every little issue. I'd spend hours as a kid replanting and caressing plants to try and give them a better life. Then I'd cry seeing my growth note pillow be thrown away as if I was the pillow. A little bit older as a teenager, I'd be the dull one sometimes, advocating for people after hearing prejudiced comments in my groups of friends. People have always said I should be less and feel less, so there has always been in me this great sensation of not belonging. I've always felt like masking a bit, like a fish that's learned to fly because I think I've always known the feelings I had would have drowned the oceans and swallowed the skies whole. I could never be less or feel less, though. And to be honest, neither have I ever tried to. Throughout all my life, for some reason, I've always had this seemingly senseless but strong feeling that I'd much rather disappear and ultimately die rather than to mask the one thing that has really moved me all my life. If I couldn't be feeling in heaven at all, then things were just not worth it. This can be limiting, but this was in fact my gateway to liberation. Now, I have not found all my life answers and accomplished my journey at age 22. It's just that I feel now a calm and consistent relief like never before. A certainty of who I am and of what I came here to do. Not exhilarating, but riding calm like it has always been here. Like a recognition of something that has always existed, that will always be here, and that has always been before I came to this world. A certainty of love and unity above any and everything. I also came to a conclusion. The only certainty I think you can never have in a relationship of any kind is the disappointment you will eventually find there. This was freeing for me because then my love depends on nothing else rather than solely my choice. No outcome, no deception, neither no blessing or affection given would ever be able to change my love, my decision to love. Because love is much rather than a pleasant feeling, a decision one makes, a commitment, and I'm a woman of convictions. It's a decision to support one's growth no matter their actions because my reward is them being themselves, safe and growing. Their actions matter for the dynamic or existence of a relationship, but not for my love in any way. And if I am to get disappointed anyway, then may it be with those who I appreciate and admire. Then I will love firstly again and get disappointed again. You feel sad again, but then my sun will rise again. I'll laugh again, hope again, and I will just know I am, after all, on my right path. That I did not betray myself in what I believe in the most, with a certainty greater than the sky being blue. I remember having the conversation about love as an eternal choice with a boy when I was around 13. I asked him what he thought that could make him stop loving someone. I knew he loved me, and I hope he would say nothing could ever do it, but he didn't. he said something. And that made me feel a little bit disappointed because I was desperate to hear the love that he had was unconditional like mine. We don't talk anymore, but I can say I still love him 10 years after having met him. My heart still becomes a little bit warmer when I hear his name, because the truth is that I'm all the love I give, not the love I was giving. I'm everything I do and not what was done to me. I guess I'm a bride to love and life, and I take my vow seriously. Till death do us apart, because me being alive is the only condition I feel for loving someone. However, I hold a love that I'm sure that could trespass this illusion of life and reality, so I see love as an eternal truth. For that, I'm sure that no power in the sky above or in the earth below will ever be able to separate us from it. Perhaps linked to this truth, I've always heard throughout all my life about some pure or innocent aspect in my appearance or ways. I don't really know why. People say I have a pure way of seeing the world when they think positively of it, or they just tell me I'm too naive or engineer. Now, as much as I know sometimes I lack the malice in people's actions, I do not see myself as someone blindly hopeful or like a fool. I realize when I'm at a disadvantage or when I'm getting less than I could be getting in a relationship. I realize when people are being dishonest with me, but again, my convictions are strong. And I'm strongly convicted that life uses things that people think they are foolish and weak to show they're in fact what really matters instead of what's commonly seen as what matters. I'm conscious of what I do and of what matters to me. And to me, what matters is to be forgiving, to hold space for people, to get down on my knees and realize that me and the other are not, in fact, that different. Which has also been important for me because while I'm still seeing the other as so different and so careless, then I have no possibility of connection with this other. But when I relate better to those egoic, arrogant needs, and I nurture it with what it's really asking, then I get to shut down that amount of pretension bigger than myself. And I finally perceive that there is, in fact, no difference between me and the other. Because I am, at the end of the day, that other. So there is no other. And I'm able to see humanity as one, to nurture and liberate myself, both myself and others, in fact. Because while I can't relate to the evil thief who pointed a gun to my mom's head, I can relate to the oppressed, enraged, endlessly violated person behind that facade, a symptom of society. And I know that at the end of the day, I'm not that better than he is. And that what separates us is our life contexts. And so there is no division. And then in my mind, I can finally extend grace to him and let him go from my mental prisons. This was what was important for me to understand in order to relate in a healthier way with certain events and to let go of resentment. While every experience is unique, I know the betrayal, I know other kinds of life threats. neglect, and the violations. This has been the year I have felt the most loved in my life. Controversial or not, it has also been the year I was um, I was having molestation episodes in the house I was living in, not feeling like I had a place to live in this world in a very practical way, not feeling safe, not feeling safe in my body or anywhere. I had my third suicide attempt this year, and still, I left that feeling, um, realizing I've never had a stronger conviction of how seen and loved I am, and have always been. And throughout this lack, I've never felt so greatly and undeniably complete within myself. Again, not as a discovering sensation, but as a recognition. I experienced a subtle yet strong sense of familiarity, like my self worth, my completion, my freedom, and my belonging with life and community have always been here all along, all this time. It's a serene yet intense sense, calm yet shaking, like I can't ever go back to where I once was. I want to be remembered as someone who loved deeply, who got to make a difference, and who got to be used not by my will to be seen, but as a life's tool to really see others. See beyond the surface that shows good versus bad, cruel versus impeccable people, but instead to see people as a whole, complex, intricate being. To see the frustrated partner behind the rude clerk, or the wounded, neglected child behind one's inconsistency. I don't want to be seen as someone who is detached or careless. And if that is to be a fool, then I want to be, then what I want to be is ridiculously and extravagantly foolish. I don't need to conquer anything in this world. I will simply refuse to conform. And if that's all I came here to do, then I will happily do it. I only have two hands and the feeling of the world, and so I give them both kindly and firstly, clumsy and imperfectly as I am.